I am Vinnie Tortorich. Folks, your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed. It's the Wednesday show. That means he comes in every Wednesday. We love him for it. We're talking about the beautiful, the vivacious, Mr. Chris Shaffer. Yeah. How's it going, brother?
Good. Vivacious. That's a new one.
Yeah,
like
that's what they say about you, Chris. Vivacious. Yes.
I don't know that anyone other than you has ever described me that way, but I will take it.
Yeah. Well, by the way, today is the 21st when we're recording this on Sunday, and it's also one Bond girl's birthday. Miss Serena Scott Thomas is.
Nice.
Yeah, and you had a birthday. What, 3-4 days ago?
5 days ago? Can I math? Whatever Tuesday was.
Yeah,
I think it was Tuesday. Right? Yeah.
So
or 5 days ago ish.
My mom, called the whole thing, and wanted to. We were out. I said to Serena, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" She goes, "No cake, please, no cake," and she meant it. No cake. I have her gift right here. It's not even wrapped yet. It's in here. It's
kind of wrapped.
No, it's just the gauze that came around it. It's some kind of headset that she wanted, for her ears, skulls or something. So I have them right here. I have the card. I have everything over there. So I got to put it together right on the card, that kind of deal. I'm going to do that between shows today. But we were out walking this morning because why not? It's your birthday. You do whatever you want, right? So she wanted to go for a long walk, and then we took the dogs, and my mom called during the walk to wish her happy birthday. And my mom starts in, she goes, Serena, you were born, she goes, my son Michael, my older brother, was born on the 18th. You were born 3 days later on the 21st, a world away, a continent away. And then Vinnie was born exactly a year later. And I said, Ma, when you think about it, everybody's born between September 15th and the end of September. And she goes, how do you figure? I said, think about it. What's 9 months earlier?
Yeah. What else do you have to do in January?
Yeah. What's going on? As a matter of fact, when you think about it, my dad was a horn dog because my older brother, Michael, was just born, right, in September 18th. And then they're doing it up for New Year's Eve. And here I am a year later, right? It's got to be. They had sex on New Year's Eve.
Or right around, yeah.
By the way, I was an accident kid. Out of all their kids, I'm the accident. They didn't have money for one kid, and then all of a sudden, you're pregnant again, Miss Tortorich.
Well, it's like, at least in my case, I was the last one, which means they weren't happy after the first one, but they were happy after the second one, right? So I can hold that over my brother's head forever. They didn't need any more kids because they had the perfect one the second time around.
Yeah. You go on and believe that, Chris.
I will.
I'm vivacious. Until right now,
they looked at me in the hospital looking like Rocky after the end of the original Rocky movie. And they were like, this is a vivacious baby. We don't need any more. And then they never touched ever again.
Or they went, fuck it. We're done trying. I mean, we've tried twice. This is not getting any better.
The actual story with my parents is my mom at some point went to my dad and said, I have 2 boys that look identical and sound like you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a third one. And I hope it's a girl. And my dad looked at her and said something to the effect of, more than willing to keep trying, but what makes you think it's going to be any different? And she said, great point. Don't touch me. And that was the end of that conversation.
So the last time they had sex was, how old are you, Chris?
37?
38 years ago. Boom. Yep. They stopped.
Sometime in January, snowed in central Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And then never again. Yeah. Twice.
That wet, clammy snow on a wet, clammy snow night. Yeah.
And you do know my dad occasionally listens to the Wednesday show, so
Oh boy.
he'll enjoy that.
Sorry, Mr. Shaffer. Jesus Christ. All right, Chris, let's get on to something more important than birthdays.
So a couple of things came across my plate this week, Vinny. The first one are the six best keto cooking oils to support heart health and boost your energy. Turns out you and our friends at Villa Capelli, at least according to this article, have been right all along.
Go figure.
The top oil you should be looking at is olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew? I mean, you did, and listeners of this show have known.
Right.
But
yeah,
most people did not. I'm curious about where the rest of these fall for you, because I know Villa Capelli olive oil is number one for you.
Can I guess at, I don't know where they would be on the list. How many did you say? 6?
6.
Can I guess at 4 of them?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously olive oil is 1. I'm going to say avocado oil is on the list somewhere. I'm going to guess that tallow is on the list. I'm going to guess that purified butter or ghee is on the list. I'm going to say that real lard is on the list. And did I say butter yet? Did I say butter in that group?
You said ghee, not butter.
So I'm going to put butter and ghee as separate categories. So that would be my list. So let me go through my list again. Olive oil, and in no particular order, by the way, folks. Olive oil, avocado oil, butter, ghee, tallow, and lard coming from pork fat. And when I say lard, I also mean bacon fat, which is rendered bacon fat as lard. All right. That would be my list.
So their list is olive oil, avocado oil,
2 for
coconut
2
oil.
Oh, I left out coconut oil. Something like
Dr. Mary Newport is so offended at you right now.
Oh, Mary will never come on the show again. I consume I had coconut oil less than an hour ago before the show, but here's the problem. It's such a health food thing for me. I just stir in my coffee. I just put it in my mouth. I don't think about it as cooking oil. Although Serena uses it in cooking, but isn't that weird? Like coconut oil is now off of my cooking oil list because I consume it as a supplement mostly. Go on.
Ghee, butter as two separate line items. And then macadamia nut oil. No lard, no tallow, none of that. But they are talking about macadamia oil. And I was curious about your thoughts on that.
I don't know how we know macadamia nuts have a lot of fat, so it's easy to derive oil. So I'm going to guess if it's a cold press, right? If they do a cold press, first render type thing, maybe. But I'm not crazy about nut oils in general. But if there was a nut oil, maybe that one is done in a healthy way. I can't imagine that it's cheap. Is kind of the problem. Like the basic consumer probably can't afford it, right?
Especially as a cooking oil, right? As a finishing oil or something like that, I get it, right? If you're going to make a salad.
Oh, Chris locked up. Oh, there
but compared to your butters, your tallows, your ghees, which is just butter, right? I don't really understand that one. And I can't imagine, and I guess we should probably look while we're talking about this, 16 ounces, just looking at the first thing that pops up on Amazon. Let's see. I have to do some math because it's showing me Mexican pesos. $38
for 16 ounces. So that's more than $2 an ounce. Think about that. That's cocaine prices.
I mean, yeah. And I think, all right, so let's look at something that's a little bigger. And this is your virgin cold pressed, right? For a gallon.
Yeah, people like
$249 a gallon. $249 a gallon.
Okay. Now, all right. So let's say you turned it into 3 liters, which is a little less than a gallon. If you do the math, that would probably bring it down to about 220 for 3 liters. Think about it. Villa Capelli, and I'm not doing an ad on this show. They don't pay for this show, but Villa Capelli is $100 for what they're charging you, well over $200 for the same product.
Yeah, the Villa Capelli extra virgin, I think, is $125 for the 3-liter tin before the Vinnie discount and all of those kinds of things.
Right. Yeah.
But compared to bacon fat, which is free,
right,
if you're already otherwise buying bacon, or butter, or tallow, right? Like, how much is beef tallow? Beef tallow can't be anywhere
Chris,
near that.
I buy beef tallow 8 pounds at a time on Amazon because, and it comes in, you get like the canisters of several pounds per canister. So you get like 4 canisters. So I guess it's 2 pounds per canister, right? Because I buy 8 pounds and it's look for the 8 pound or the 2 pound canister and see what it comes to.
So the 7-pound bucket,
right?
I have to click to see the price. That's a new thing that I've never seen before. There's actually no price on this. What are you doing, Amazon? $39. This is a different brand. $39 for a 7-pound bucket.
$39 for 7 pounds versus $2 an ounce. Okay, you know how many ounces is in 7 pounds?
112.
No, way more than that, because a pound has
16 ounces.
16 ounces.
Yes. 112 ounces.
Okay. 112 times 2.
Would be 224.
Yeah. I'm not doing the math right. I was going somewhere. My math wasn't going. I'm thinking through it now. It's kind of when that politician said that if so and so rich guy gave each person, took all that money, each person would have like $1 million, and it would be
So the other one was a gallon, which is 128 ounces, right?
Right.
For what did we say, like $200? Right? You can buy essentially unlimited beef tallow for that amount.
Yeah. And by the way, beef tallow does not go bad, right? It's just oil, and it can run rancid, I guess, after a while. But yeah,
I had never even heard of macadamia oil as a cooking oil before. The only place I've ever seen it used is as like a massage oil, or sometimes as a finishing oil, something like that.
Yeah. Look, it makes no sense that, you're talking about low carb and you don't have beef tallow and lard on the list. Now, let me give a warning about both beef tallow and lard. This is more lard than beef tallow. But make sure that when you buy it, even on Amazon, no matter where you buy it, make sure it's 100% pure beef tallow or 100% pure lard. The problem seems to be with the lard more than the beef tallow, where they will add seed oils in with your lard, and it'll still say 100% lard. Sounds familiar, folks? You have to read the ingredients to make sure that there's only one product in there, and that's the fat from a pig, period. Because I've seen that more and more. So be careful.
I think the the other thing is, even with avocado oil, that has a lot of the same problems, if I remember correctly, that olive oil has, right?
It does. It does. It's hard to find the ones that are completely pure. That's why I don't use them, right? Because I can't trust it. I think Anna figured out one or two that she uses in her recipes, but she had to go do a deep dive to figure it out. And I don't know which brands there are, folks. Hit up Anna Vocino at annavocino.substack.com or at Eat Happy Kitchen, and she may be so inclined to tell you guys where to find the good stuff. I don't know. You know, I just can't keep track of all of it. That's for sure.
All right, let's move on to something a little bit more fun. Do you want a test to find out if you're aging healthy, Vinny, or the top exercises you should be doing?
Let's go with the aging first, because every time I see those, I come down into my laboratory, also known as my gym, and I test it, right? So I'll give you an example, and it might be on your list. About a month ago, I saw a thing that said, hey, grip strength isn't just about using the little grippy things. Now, as you know, I have a bunch of the captains of Crush things. They sit by my chair when I watch television at night. Every second night, I go through, I start with the 60 pound, then I go to the 80 pound, then the 100 pound, then the 120, and I do reps slowly, like I'm working out, right? So they go, oh, this doesn't really do anything. You got to hang, you got to free hang from a bar, right? You got to do a free hang. And I was like, all right. And they said, okay, if you're a 60-something-year-old woman, you should be able to go, and I'm going to make this up, it's like 1 minute. If you're a 60 plus, I think it was 55-year-old plus, you should be able to do a minimum of 90 seconds, you know, hanging from a pull-up bar, just free hanging without letting go, without putting your feet on the ground, without doing anything. So 90 seconds doesn't sound that long, because when I do pull-ups, as you know, I don't do the kind of pull-ups they do in CrossFit. I don't look like a monkey trying to fuck the weight, the rack, right?
You aren't doing Pete Hegseth racing RFK style pull-ups. You're doing actual pull-ups.
Yeah.
Weird.
So, all right. So we'll get to that if you want to, but I do a thing where I let myself all the way down, stretch all the way out, muscle myself, get my chin above the bar. I hold it there for a 2 or 3 count, and then I slowly let it out. I might do a set with 6 reps in it, and I'm sure it takes the better part of 90 seconds, right? So I'm going, I know I can hang on to a bar for 90 seconds because I think my pull-ups go for that long. Like I said, I'm not doing the ones that RFKJ is doing. I'm doing actual military style. Now, if I moved a little faster, and I do this sometimes, especially if Latasha's in a gym, you know, you got a chick watching now. So, you know, it's like, oh, geez, I can't just do 5. Latasha might be looking over here. She's kind of cute. I better make sure I do at least 12. So I'll quicken the pace a little bit, right? But I'm still not doing those kip ups and all that kind of crazy stuff. I'm still going all the way up, all the way down. I'm just doing it in double time. Guess what? I get to the same amount of time, right? I'll do that because I'm a dude and Latasha's cute. And when I say Latasha, she's the only girl I know in the gym. There's other women there too. So I want them to see me doing more than 6. Not that they go home and tell their husbands, hey, guess what? Vinny just did 12 pull-ups, right? So that being said, I got to be able to do 90 seconds. It's got to be. So I came in my gym. I set up a timer in front of me. I did a dead hang and looked at the timer. It was on 10 seconds when I started. So I had to subtract that from the total. And I just hung there and I closed my eyes. And a bit of time passed and I went, got to be about a minute. So I opened my eyes and it said a minute 20 something. So that meant that, you know, doing well. And then I said, it's got to be at least 90 seconds. I opened my eyes. I was at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And when I got to 3 minutes, I finally said, okay, I can go on from here, but I've proven that I can do the 90 seconds. Right. So I love those kind of tests where they go, this is what you should be doing. Now, I wasn't proud that I went to 3 minutes. I should have gone as long as I could because I don't pride myself on status quo. I just don't. If I did, I would still be living on the bayou. And there's nothing wrong with living on the bayou, right? But, you know, I love going there and visiting, but I wanted to do more in life, right? I don't want to just get by going, oh, I could beat everyone else my age. I want to be the best person I can be. I was telling someone this on the show just the other day. I could probably figure out his name. It was Bryson. Last Wednesday, we were having a conversation. I won't say your last name, Bryson. Guy I've done consults with before and this and that and the whole thing. Bryson's telling, oh yeah, I gained some weight back. I'm still not fat. I'm still looking pretty good. I'm not the worst father in the neighborhood, but I got to be, I don't want to get I'm getting the dad bod. He's telling me all this stuff. He's got wife, kids, job, the whole thing. I said, Bryson, we're going down. We're going to get you back down to 170 pounds. And I think it was 170, I said. And he got real quiet. I said, you don't think you could get there? He goes, well, I haven't been there since high school. And I said, listen, I don't want you to be the best dad in the neighborhood. You don't want to be the best of those losers. You want to be the best dude possible, right? Why be the best dad in your neighborhood? Maybe you got a lazy neighborhood. Let's go find a neighborhood. You want to be the best, right? You want to become an influencer, right? You want to influence other people. Oh my God, look at Bryson. Look at that mother effer. Look at him. That's who you want to become in life, right? You want to be that alpha male. And I know it wasn't popular to be an alpha male for a while, right? I heard all kinds of stuff. Oh, if you're in shape, you're a right-wing guy, which is weird because I used to live close to West Hollywood, which is where gays lived, and they were the most fit people I'd ever seen. And I'm pretty sure they're not wearing MAGA hats. So I don't know where that term came from, but the most fit human beings I've ever seen in my life was in West Hollywood. Those guys were awesome. You want to measure yourself up against a human being? Go to West Hollywood, look around. You'll see what in shape looks like. Those guys kill themselves to be healthy, right? That's who you want to be. You want to be the best guy in your neighborhood. Don't think about that too hard, Chris. You look like you were thinking about that statement way too hard.
They killed themselves to be, wait.
Hang on. They were beautiful corpses. So look, I went off the page a little bit there because you were going to give me the top exercises and I went off the deep end. So let's bring it back a bit to the top. Was that even in the group?
Well, so we have the exercises, but we also have the tests.
Oh, the tests is what we were talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
So the first one, and this is kind of a roundup that came from some people at Tufts Medical Center and Johns Hopkins.
Okay.
Johns Hopkins. The first one is what they call the tug, not that tug, Vinny, the timed up and go. So you sit back in a standard armchair, put something 10 feet away, stand up and walk, timing yourself with a stopwatch, to the line on the floor, turn around and walk back to your chair and sit down.
Okay. And what should the time be?
Less than 12 seconds. According to the CDC, if this takes you longer than 12 seconds, you have a massively increased risk of falling.
Okay. I see something 10 feet away from me right now. I'll tell you what it is. It's a piece of felt sitting on my train layout. Now, Chris, you have a watch over there, something you can time me with? Okay, since I have to unplug myself, I'm going to say go. And when I sit back down, I'm going to say stop. Now, I'm looking at it. It's more than 10 feet away. So, but we're going to call that 10 feet. And how much time do I have to do that?
12 seconds.
All right. When I say go, you start. And when I say stop, you stop. You ready? I got to unplug myself here. So I'm unplugging now. Okay. I'm still sitting in my chair, Chris, as you can see. And by the way, I'm making excuses now, but I got to work around the thing a little bit. Okay. Ready? Go. Stop. And here's the piece of felt. Let me plug back in. So we know I had to go get it because the felt is right here. How much time should I have done it in? 12 seconds?
Less than 12 seconds, because more than 12 seconds means you have a substantially increased risk of falling.
Okay. How long did it take me?
5.63.
Oh, fuck. I think I could do better. All right, Chris, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go put the felt back now because, I had to work my way around this desk and then my weightlifting bar sticks up from the rack. So I got to make a curve around it and then curve around it to come back.
Okay.
I wish I could show you what I'm talking about.
The last time you showed me something in your office, it took you 2 hours to put it back together. So
my camera's still not right. So I'm never going to do that again. All right. I got to unplug myself. So I got the felt in my hand and I got to go put it back on the thing. I'm going to come back without the felt. You ready to shake your head if you're ready to go. Set, go. Stop.
4.85.
How long did that take?
4.85.
Okay, that's good enough.
So you shaved what, 3/4 of a second off?
At least.
That's not too bad.
At least.
The second one is a single leg stand.
Okay.
And they're saying if you don't have the ability to hold it for 10 seconds, it doubles your risk of death within the next 10 years.
All right. So hang on. Now, while I'm doing it, I'm going to pick my mic up with me. Let me see. Can I stand up with this? Oh, yeah, I can stand up. All right. So, Chris, when I say go, that means I'm on one leg. Okay.
Well, so hang on. Let me give you the instructions.
All right. Go on.
Stand with your feet together, hands at your sides. Obviously, you're not necessarily going to have your hands at the sides because you're holding a microphone.
Well, I'm going to leave the mic down here. Let me see if I can lift the mic up a bit. Hang on. There we go. I could do that. Sorry. I want to do it properly. So I got the mic near me. All right. All right. So you ready?
Hands at the sides, 1 foot off the ground, slightly bent at the knee.
All right. The foot on the ground has to be slightly bent?
No, the one that you lift.
Okay. All right.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm going to say go. Set, go. This is boring for the audience. Yeah, do that. That helps.
All right, you've already passed 10 seconds, which is the cutoff. You're at about 15.
Okay, so I could do this all day, right?
Yeah.
I'm still doing it for the listening audience. I'm just standing here on 1 foot. It doesn't. But look, that's almost unfair because I use that what's that thing? It looks like a what do you call those things? Skateboard, but it's like the rock in the middle. I go back and forth. I do that some nights.
A balance board?
Yeah, it's called not a BOSU, but it's called a something board. And as a matter of fact, I bought one for Gina Grad, the girl that used to do the show that you do now. Play your cards right, you can get one too.
I love those.
Yeah, I spend I'll be watching television. I'll get up and just get on it for 15 minutes, that kind of thing. All right, so I'll pass that test. What else you got, Chris?
The third one we've basically already done, and we've seen you do it a few times, so we can probably skip it. It's called the sit rise. So you stand barefoot on a non-slip surface. You don't have to worry about speed, but you're trying to sit on the floor with as little assistance as possible. And then stand back up. So this is kind of the classic one, right? It's the unassisted
Yeah, and you don't
standing
use
test.
your hands to go up and down. I've done that several times. So I've done that one. Yeah.
And the way that they score this is it's 5 points up and 5 points down. And if any part of you other than your butt and your feet touch anything while you're doing it, you deduct 1 point. So if you put one hand on the floor, you deduct a point. You get a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I
And if you
remember
score,
I did it several times, 10 out of 10. So I know I can do that.
here's where this gets interesting, Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
A score below 7.5. How do you get a half point off if you're taking a full point?
Well, your nuts are on the floor, which means you're really old.
Yeah. So they're saying that shows a significantly higher risk of dying in the next 12 years. So slightly more than a decade.
All right,
and
what else?
then the other one is basically chair squats.
Mm-hmm.
So you time for 30 seconds and you put your butt in the chair, stand up, put your butt in the chair, stand up, put your butt in the chair. And if you get fewer than 14 as a man or 12 as a woman, you're at an extremely high risk of a fall.
Okay. The fact that I did belt squat yesterday and I was doing sets of 15, very slow and very controlled, and using as much as, let's see, what's 2 plates on each side, so plus the machine, so probably 225 pounds.
180, it'd be what, 180 plus whatever the
Yeah, the contraption probably weighs 45, so let's call it 215, I guess. I don't know. So there. And I was doing that yesterday, sets of 15. And as a matter of fact, I put a box on top of the thing so that I could go ass to grass because the machine just doesn't let you do ass to grass. So I'm 63 coming up next week. I'm still doing ass to grass. And I was doing that on a belt squat machine yesterday. And then the aforementioned Latasha and I did, we did leg press together where I was bottoming out on the leg press machine and going out with as much as, I don't know, I don't go heavy anymore, 450, which folks, that's not impressive for leg press. So I'm just going to sit here and tell you, I can do that exercise very easily. And by the way, after that, I cooled down with an hour and 25 minute skate. I went skating for an hour and 25 minutes. So,
which, by the way, you just said the bonus word for today, which is skate. So I'm temporarily trapped in Mexico, right?
right.
And was walking to the store yesterday, and it's the first time I've seen the shop open. But there is a roller skate store less than a block from where I'm staying. And they have all of their staff. So basically 3 salespeople, it's kind of that size, like the size of a cell phone store.
Right.
On skates or rollerblades all day.
Really?
To move around the store and to sell the merch, they are skating. Like the old drive-in type places. Yeah. Like Sonic, right?
Yeah, our Sonic in Donaldsonville, our Sonic in Donaldsonville, the girls were on skates. Most of them, like there were like 2 of them that were like, we're old and we're smoking Marlboros in the back, and fuck you, we're gonna walk it out to the car. Yeah.
The issue, if you're having issues with any of those, we had another article that came right along with that. And it started with a bunch of trainers complaining that older adults, is what they called them throughout the article, focus too much on mirror muscles, Vinny. Now, as someone who's not an older adult, I can tell you that is not an older adult or a senior citizen problem. That is everyone who goes to the gym problem.
Mirror muscles meaning like curls and triceps and that kind of thing?
Yeah. So how much you bench, how much you curl, that kind of stuff.
Well, I agree with that to some degree, because I'm always saying that, yeah, look, I get compliments. Like, people will come over to me in the gym, guys my age, they go, man, your arms look pretty good. We never see you doing curls. Hey man, your arms look pretty good. We never see you try, you got that nice V in the back of your tricep. It's not bulky like it used to be. You got that nice V. You never do tricep extensions because you don't have to. If you do the compound movements, you're working your body, and your body will build the way your body is supposed to build. So you won't have goofy looking muscles that are oversized. You could keep your symmetry looking exactly the way you want it to look. Before mentioned, belt squats and leg press. I also did weighted lunges. What I didn't spend time on was leg extensions and leg curls. There's nothing wrong with leg extensions and leg curls, right? But I want my muscles to look a certain way. I don't want them to look abnormal, right? I want the symmetry. I've been working with people on symmetry in Hollywood for years. The late, great Vince Gironda was big on this, right? Look at people like Scott Glenn, Charles Bronson, Clint Eastwood. These are all people he trained. He even trained Arnold in the early days, and Arnold got kicked out of his gym. Arnold will tell you he's one of the best trainers out there. The reason these people looked so good was because they had symmetry, right? He knew how to work on symmetry. Symmetry is more important than, I got bingo wings, let me just do tricep extensions. No. That's not going to do it for you the way a good diet, a good aerobic program, and then a good compound movement program will do for you, period. As you know, Chris, in the 6, 4, and 2-day workout that we're going to put out at some point whenever our editor gets off of his ass, we do some of those exercises in there because people like them. So I added them in. But notice what we do first. Go on.
And how do you talk about them in those workout plans, Vinny?
Auxiliary. It's like, these are auxiliary exercise. You do not have to do this exercise. I say it in the routine. I'm a trainer telling you in the video, you do not have to do this exercise. Do it if you have time and you're so inclined to do it. Basically, what I'm telling you in the video, I do these exercises very little or not at all. Period. End of story.
So instead of focusing on those, they created 5 zones for people to focus on. The first one is what they call the power zone. Great names on all these, which are glutes and hamstrings. And they're saying, especially for aging people, right? Sitting, standing, climbing, protecting your back. This is what causes most pain for people as they age. They're not working on those. They don't have the right posture. A lot of that comes from your glutes and your hamstrings and the posterior chain, right? Some of these examples are interesting to me. Deadlifts make sense. Not the first thing I would recommend that anybody, especially someone who's not a consistent gym goer, does in the gym. It's a hell of an exercise, but done incorrectly can cause more issues, right? And a lot of people do it incorrectly.
Even if you do it 100% correctly, it's not where you start, because it's a complex exercise. If somehow you can figure out how, if you just luck into doing it 100% correctly the first time, you won't get it right. But let's say you could. It's still a lot of strain on your lower back to work those muscles in that direction. I wouldn't start there at all, right? It's not a beginner exercise. And even when you start doing it, now they have these fancy hex bars that you can climb in the middle of, which puts you in a much better position. Because the problem with the deadlift throughout history is that it's in the front of your, your shins are where they are. And you can't move it. If you can move it back 3 inches, you will be fine. That's what the hex bar allows you to do. So even under the best conditions with a straight bar, it's rough. That's why I don't coach it from the beginning, but go on.
Hip thrusts.
I'm good with that because that can start to be, I'm going to tell you the good. It's good to do. If you could do it, now they have the hip thrust machines out there all over. Every gym I go to has a hip thrust machine. A lot of the girls still like to do it free weight because they see the Instagram superstars doing free weight. So that's what they want to do. I get it. Here's the problem. It's easy to go too heavy, too fast. And then that can cause a problem. Hip thrusts are very good. Start slow and then slow down. You've heard me say that on this podcast 1,000 times.
If someone doesn't have a hip thrust machine, would you suggest that they go free weight, or is it better for them to look at something like a Smith machine?
Smith machine would be the second way to go because it guides the weight for you, which is good. And a lot of people who like to go really heavy like to use the Smith machine because it allows them to go heavy and the bar is not moving around, right? So the Smith machine and free weight are about the same. The Smith machine would even allow you to go heavier. But when you're just starting out, don't worry about heavy. I would tell you, even though the bar is light, start with the bar. Get used to it. Look, you're in no rush. There's no competition coming up in 3 weeks. Spend time learning how to do it right. Look, it's one of the problems I see with the Concept 2. When I got my Concept 2, I would watch videos and watch the pros and try to figure out what they were doing because I knew that I was doing it all wrong. I mimicked a rower and I tried to figure out what they were doing. And over time, you figure out, keep those arms straight, keep those shoulders down, drive with the legs, use your body as a pendulum. That does not come in week 1. It does not come after 6 months. It comes after millions of meters. I was going to say miles. Millions of meters of rowing and watching these guys online going, do this, do that. And when you start doing more things correctly, and there's no way to get it right on day 1. And even once you got it, it's easy to fall back into old habits, right? It's hard to stay locked in. That's why on the Concept 2, one of the graphs, most people, you'll see it'll look like they're ramping up and then it goes down. You want that graph to look like a semicircle. You want the power to come right in the middle. And you're not going to see that. There's no way to cheat that graph unless you're driving with the legs, with the feet. You drive with the legs, with the quads from the beginning. Once your quads are all the way out, you start with the pendulum of the back. And then the last thing you do is you finish out with the arms. And what you'll notice once you get it, you'll say, oh my God, my times are a lot faster. I'm using a lot less energy to get a much faster time. My heart rate is lower. So you're in zone 2, going faster than you were in zone 3 and 4 with bad technique. It's amazing. I had a woman, we've talked about it on the show before, Robin Dobbins. She calls me up and she goes, we did a consult. She wrote to me and said, I want to do a consult. Can you coach me on the rowing machine? I said, I can only do it if we make this consult where you FaceTime me and have your husband there to hold the camera, because I'm going to have him move around you so I can watch. I'm not even a rowing coach, and I barely know what I'm talking about. I was able to watch Robin row and in real time fix it for her so she watched the times go down on the machine, right? She saw it in real time. And her husband was right there watching going, my God, look at this. It's working. It's working. But you can't know it unless someone coaches you. And I'm not even a rowing coach. I'm what you would call an idiot when it comes to rowing. I know nothing about it. I know about body mechanics because my degree is in exercise physiology. So I'm able to look at other coaches and what they're teaching on the internet, put a mirror in front of me and watch myself in the mirror. And by the way, if you think I'm the only person who's done that, think again. That's a common thing that they tell you to do with rowing, and also have a paddle erg. Watch yourself in the mirror, because if you don't, your shoulders will start coming up and you'll start bunching up. You want the shoulders to be down. You want that bar to be down, and you want to drive with your quads. That's where all the power is made, right? Most people don't understand. I'm off on a tangent, but I get excited about this stuff.
I thought that was a good one. The last one for the power zone was single leg bridges.
Is that like
I'm assuming they mean like a split squat?
Oh, no. I think I know what they're talking about. So what you do, I might call it something else. So you lay on the floor. Okay. You bend both of your knees. And then you take one leg. So if both of your knees are bent like this, you stick one leg out. Yeah. And then you bridge your hips up. You hold it and you ease out. It's a great exercise, by the way. I do it sometimes to warm up my back in the gym.
I just kind of like a body weight.
Yeah.
Like a body weight hip thrust.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a very similar motion. Yeah.
It's the lunges of, it's one-legged, bridges. And it's great. I do them all the time when I'm warming up my back in the gym and doing my calisthenics. I'll do 8 or 10 real slow in each leg. It does a lot.
The next zone, they have what they call the posture zone, which is your upper and middle back.
Mm-hmm.
You'll like this one: body weight rows, cable rows, or lawnmower pulls.
Okay.
So
I'm okay with that. Row. Yeah.
The stability zone. They suggested something here that I had never heard of, called a Palloff press. Palloff.
Palloff.
Which is I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's got another name, but it's the like the rotation with a band or with
yeah. Everybody in the
like
gym
a horizontal. It's a horizontal pull, I guess, is the
yeah. So, and by the way, I watch people do this in the gym. Most people are doing it all wrong because they're trying to add too much weight. Did you say this was a stability exercise? Is that what they're calling this?
They're saying that's what people should focus on for core and obliques.
Yeah. So, all right. So the beauty of it is when you got the cable and you're pulling it out across your body. It's a great exercise. The mistake I see people making at my gym in town, and when I visit gyms, is they're trying to put a lot of weight, and you can see them doing the winding up and ratcheting and pulling it across. The idea is to move slowly through the motion. Think kind of like, those guys that do the Tai Chi in the park in the morning? And they're moving very slowly and they're going through it. This is the same thing. You want to put a light enough weight to where you're controlling it through the motion so that your brain, it's called proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, so that your brain can work with the muscles, because you have a lot of force coupling muscles in that area of your body, and you're trying to get everything to buy in. And it's a good exercise. And yes, it will help you work on stability in your hips and your legs and holding it. I agree. The problem I have is when I see people winging through it, like trying to, they put enough weight to that where they have to wind up and kind of jerk through it to get it going. Not a good idea. Right.
Well, and you shouldn't really be using your arm strength for that either, other than just the grip. The whole point of that is that you're using.
Yeah, you're just stabilizing with your arms. What is that thing? The battle bats or whatever.
Battle ropes?
No, the things, those boku bats or boka bats or whatever. it's these weighted bats, and people are doing them around their head and over the shoulder and the whole thing. That works the same way. People are going, what are they doing? And it's like, oh, go try it and do it right. I can't think of the name of it. Is it bocce
You
bat?
mean like a mace exercise? I don't even know what to type in to get that.
BATCH bats. Yeah, baseball bats, Marucci, and all these brands are coming up. I'm gonna put in exercise bats, and the name will probably come up. I've watched people do this, and I've played around with it. Iron Power Club exercise. I'm looking at it right here. What are these? Indian club exercises.
Yeah, so like the weighted maces, it's got like a ball head on it.
Yeah. Iron Power Club exercise bats. Apollo, I'm looking at, they call them different things. That's why they call them Indian club bats. And you'll go, what could this possibly do? Right? Like, what is this? But when you move them through motion at a certain rate, it works your ass off. And these things are like 3, 4, 5 pounds. They're not heavy. Right? And you're going, oh, what's this bullshit? You start doing that, and when you're moving them slowly through space and, offsetting yourself, it causes your core. Everyone loves to talk about core. Oh, I'm working on my core. This is what's working on your core, right? Things like if you're carrying, let's say you even have like a 15-pound box of something you're bringing in from Amazon. Like we get the stuff from Chewy. The dog food comes from a company called Chewy. So those boxes are kind of heavy. When I'm carrying those from the front into the house, I'm thinking about it. It's like, yeah, this isn't heavy in my hands, but my back and everything, my obliques, everything needs to buy in, right? It needs to buy in because you now have weight in the front and your body has to buy into it. That's why these Indian bats or whatever they call them, you're working your core. And you're working muscles that you never work. Your teres majors and minors, all the force coupling muscles, everything is getting a workout. It's kind of an interesting thing. I've always been excited about it. I've never been that much into doing it, to be honest. I don't know much about it.
The other thing that most gyms will have and a lot of people overlook are medicine balls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can do something very similar. I think the terminology I've always heard is like the around the world.
Yeah.
Right. With the medicine ball, you pick it up, you move it around. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're like, what is that doing? Until you've done it once. You're like, oh my God, everything hurts the next day because you're not used to that motion.
Have you ever done the back-to-back with someone else and you hand the medicine ball, you twist and hand it, and then they grab it the other way, and then you go the opposite way? All of those exercises. Folks, what this is what we're doing here today. Hear me and hear me well. When people say, what's the best exercise to do? My answer is always the one you're willing to do. And if there's several you like, you've heard me talk about rowing machines, jump ropes, hanging from the bar, weightlifting, skating, kayaking, rowing. It's the one, mountain biking. This morning I went for a walk with my wife. It's whatever you're willing to do. Luckily, I like moving. So it's never hard for me to go, Ben, what have you done for your pain today? That's what I call it. What have you done for your pain? Have you put your body into some kind of jeopardy today? That could be a rowing machine. It could be rowing on the water. It could be the gym. It could be, but it's something. And sometimes it's two things. I think yesterday I mentioned I did heavy legs and then I went up for a skate. The weather was too beautiful not to. Right? It's whatever you choose to do. You should also choose to take vitamins every single day. I take a multi. I take magnesium. I take vitamin D3 every day. I also take things my company does not make. Things like vitamin E. tocotrienol, vitamin E. And I take, sometimes I take a little bit of the German creatine. My company don't make those things. I take olive oil every day. My company doesn't make that. You want to be on a good health regimen every day. PureVitaminClub.com. Go there, check out everything we make. We make the only sublingual vitamin B12 that has 0 sugar in it. It's a special process we do. We're the only ones that have it. It's patented. No one else can do it. Bottom line, we've patented the product. And that's that. Go check out PureVitaminClub.com. Everything ships on time, not like the good old days when things got wacky. Everything ships on time. Right, Chris?
It does. Sometimes twice.
And when you go to PureVitaminClub.com, you'll go, what? I can buy coffee here too? Yes, I put them both on one website, PureVitaminClub.com and PureCoffeeClub.com. It's right there. I made it convenient for everyone. You see, when the guy who owns the company takes it over, cool shit happens. PureVitaminClub.com, PureCoffeeClub.com. Go there right now. You can hit up me or Chris on Twitter or X or whatever is being called this month. So you can go there. It's NSNG Chris. It's at NSNG Chris or Vinnie Tortorich at Vinnie Tortorich. Rate and review this podcast. Before you go to Amazon, go to VinnieTortorich.com, click through the banner. Puts a little coal on the fire, gets my train down the track. Since Chris said he's stuck in Mexico, I came up with this song for the end of the show. So on behalf of Chris Shaffer, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living.